Hello, welcome back to Actual Play. Scum and Villainy Persephone. We're just flying through an asteroid field with Drexler's Raiders hot on our tail, equipped with laser axes and grappling arms. No big deal. Like you do.
Awesome. So yeah, I believe that there is a wacky plan that involves people in the hull of your ship and incoming suits. So what does that look like?
I mean, I think we're trying to draw fire. So I think we're covering them when we can, and whenever we see what looks like a boarding ship,
Yeah, it's a boarding shuttle, right? Because like ships themselves are too big for like proper boarding actions,
right?
But it's like a shuttle with some grapples and cutters, and then obviously it's got like the side doors so that the exosuits can jump out and cut their way in.
So I mean, my goal is they're sending, presumably multiple shuttles after us. My goal is to smash as many of them into asteroids and weave around them. But when the one that gets too close inevitably gets there, I think our plan is to pounce on them before they can start cutting up our hull. In fact, I want to grab one with a grappling arm and chuck it if I can. To before it can land on us. I assume that shuttle is probably smaller than our ship, grappleable, right?
Yeah, significantly. Yeah. The way that you should think about it is that a ship is the size of something like a 747, and a shuttle is the size of like a mini. Like it's your grapple arm is the size of a plane wing. It's not small. So yeah.
Exactly. So I think our plan is just to try and deflect as many as we can and keep them off our hull.
Sweet. Do you wanna make a helm action here?
Yeah. I don't know. Actually, could we frame this as Dipper and
we totally can.
And Scion doing the action with me assisting with the grapple arm? I think that since I just did the helm, I'd like to refocus on
no problem. So I think there's some space action, right? Like we see the boarding shuttles coming in. We see like a couple of the exosuits like dropping and then like launching off of an asteroid as your like ship is coming into a vector, and then you see a mining laser cut right through them, and like they just vaporize in space as like the other ship is like flying in formation with you. But yeah, obviously we see a landing shuttle like approaching, right? Like, and it's catching on to the hull, right? Like we see a grapple arm catch one and just like let go of it like half a second before it hits an asteroid. So like there's some good stuff going on. There's explosions in space, but there's a landing shuttle, and you see like 6 people in exosuits like hop out. Dipper, Scion, you're I assume Scion's obviously in a spacesuit, but like Dipper's there, and are you in your heavy frame?
Oh heck yeah, the heavy frame.
This is like super dangerous, right? Because like your normal frame has jets, so you can actually like fly in space, and your light frame has like hacking capability and stealth. Your heavy frame is the only one where if you get dislodged, you're not coming back.
Fucked. Yeah, totally.
Okay.
But if like a reverse situation where we saw Scion previously fly off the ship, this time it might be Dipper.
Yeah.
All right. So which one of you is taking point on this? Is this a group action? Are you taking 2 separate actions? What is this?
Yeah. How does Scion and Dipper
jump forward and do a thing?
Yeah, so we've got a crew of people who've boarded the hull of our ship, the Persephone, and are like stalking their way forwards with their laser axes.
Yeah, they basically look like I want you to realize that they look a little bit like a good touchstone might be like 40K Space Marines. Totally. Because they have the like massive metal frames, they've got the backpacks on, right, which have got jets and like additional weaponry, and you see like one of them like pulls up what looks like a giant axe, and it's got like a laser, like edge, and so like 2 of them are basically like cutting a hole into the hull. One of them like steps forward and sets up like a heavy blaster, right? Like they're deploying information. Like this is all happening now, right? Like they're not like necessarily just like mowing you down, but they're high tier, they're organized, and this is what they do for a living, right? So like when that shuttle lands, their deploy is like within seconds. So like what are you trying to do here?
I feel like I want to like I don't know, like attune in order to get an advantage on like taking shots or something like that. But I don't know.
How would that work?
Is that a thing that attune can do?
It depends, right? Like,
Yeah.
I can see scenarios where you're like, I'm standing around a wall and I know that someone's hunting me, so I want to know exactly where they are by like focusing on their killing intent. But in this situation, I have no idea how that would apply. It doesn't seem right.
I guess I would like try to like, the way I was thinking of it is like before they land, I attune in order to know where they're going to be when they fall, so that I have like pre-lined up shots on like key members. So like maybe this person who's going to be setting up the heavy gun, I can just like take him out as soon as he lands, basically, and then we don't have to deal with a heavy gun.
So attune doesn't normally futz with time, but I know that you have an artifact that does. So like, how are you attuning to know where they fall? Because that's not usually a thing attune can do, right? Like, I think the description in the book is like, it allows you to like sense threat, communicate with non-sentient things and urbots, or robots, actually, like not urbots are people.
Safely handle precursor artifacts or remnants that tap into the way, might sense unseen danger. I guess that's the part that I was trying to make play on, is like,
cool. Yeah,
they're not here yet, I'm sensing the unseen danger.
It's a sixth sense. Sure.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll just roll that. Is it risky standard?
Yeah, I think it's risky largely in the sense that you're closing your eyes and focusing on something that's not here yet, and potentially the timeline will catch up to you, and you're just gonna get shot.
Sure.
So that's really the risk.
Sure. Could this actually be a setup action for Dipper?
Nice. You read the bad.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Cool. Yeah, so I'm gonna like put a hand on Dipper's shoulder, close my eyes, like, you know, hand to the forehead, really cool way pose. Like, it's obvious that whatever way training I took, standing in a cool pose to access the way was absolutely a part of my training.
I think that's mandatory for all mystics.
Okay.
And the people that are like, I make no sign outwardly are just doing it wrong.
Yeah, they did not go to the Zoolander school of mystic training.
That's exactly it. All right, I'm gonna just roll my two points here.
I guess what I'm saying is they are not a vibe.
They are not a vibe.
Awesome. Cool. So I think this is so the way that setup actions work is you take threat upon yourself, right? So you're gonna take consequences, and I think that so sorry, this reminds me of there's an old anime called Vision of Escaflowne, and they have a girl that senses danger with like a pendant, and at one point she's standing on the shoulder of a mech pointing at invisible other mechs, and this is a lot like that. So I think that there's probably like a moment where you're just like fire left, right, and then like, you know, fire right, and then when the thing grapples on, your eyes are still closed and you're pointing, and obviously like the fire is going to engulf the two of you. Dipper, you're probably going to be okay, but this is the kind of thing that may or may not kill Scion, but definitely rupture spacesuits, which is what's going to happen in about 2 seconds. So Dipper, I think that you get like some effect, right? Like you get some free shots off at a couple of incoming threats, and then do you want to? You have either better position, which means that it's safer, or you have increased effect, which means that you're more effective against this group. Now, I have to warn you, you have 0 effect currently, and I'll explain the why. Drex's Raiders are higher tier, which means that they have quality on you. Their spacesuits are just better than your weapons. And 2, they're a group, so they have scale. So you start at 0 effect because they have like 2 classes of differential against you. But setup can give you limited effect. If you want to push for effect, you can take them all out with 1 roll if you want.
Whoop. Excellent. What would my position be currently? Like desperate if it's like this?
Yeah, because you're firing on a squad of trained people that fight together, have the weapons to counter fire, and they have a ship for cover. So they're just prepared in every way. This is pretty desperate if you're trying to take them out. If you're just trying to distract them or I don't know, get them off balance or something like that, then we'll talk about the difference in position.
Well, a very, very dear friend of mine said, talk shit, roll crits. So
all right then.
Yeah. I would like to assist Dipper as well, which will make your push cheaper if you want to do it. I am going to, when they land, I've been waiting for this. The grappling arm has been doing all this other stuff. The grappling arm is going to grab the shuttle and like try to and like bat one of them
Oh, no.
that's like flying over out of the way.
I don't know that you can, Sean. Grapple arms generally grab things that are like not on your hull, right? Like it's like trying to scratch your back. It's not really attached in such a way that you can grab things on the ship per se.
Cool. I switch the helm and I crash into an asteroid, so I scrape one of them off with an asteroid.
That's rad.
I love it. And I love that you're doing it in an assist, so I don't make you attempt to murder the people on your hull.
Exactly.
Good job. The John L. L. assist method. I love it.
Yes, exactly. So yeah, one of them just gets clipped as we scrape by an asteroid. Sorry, Ula. I'm sure it does some damage to the paint job too. Yeah, so I'm going to spend a stress. That gives you +1d, Lauren. And if you want to push, it only costs you 1 stress.
Oh, perfect. And I can get effect from the setup from Scion, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to push for effect there. And then because I'm a wrecking crew, if I take a gambit, I can also get +1 effect on an action as well. So I might spend a gambit to bump up the effect again.
Yes.
Nice.
Go straight up to great effect against this crew of like 5 dudes.
So bear in mind that if you're doing this, so the reason your action is desperate is because you're attempting to, instead of stand back and level your guns, you're literally charging into melee and attempting to like hold them up so that they get ripped apart by asteroids that are coming nearby and things like that.
Yeah, and what I think it looks like is, like the heavy frame has those 4 arms, and so I think like we see the first 2 and like the grapple arms like sort of activate, and then the other 2 come out, and then like they also activate. So there's like these 4 grapple arms that are gonna shoot out and like grab 4 of these guys to take advantage of our pilot's amazing piloting skills.
All right, nice. Roll some dice. This is the roll crits part of that statement.
Yeah, exactly. You've done all the talking shit. But you've got at least 2 bonus dice, I think. 1 for wrecking crew,
1 for the assist. Yeah, and 1 for the gambit. So. And
1 for wrecking crew.
Yeah, so it's 3 bonus dice actually.
Nice.
3 bonus dice. Excellent. And the effect would be, if I'm pushing the effect twice, that would be great. Okay.
Nice.
No. If you're pushing the effect twice, it would be standard. My bad.
Standard. Oh, okay. So I get 3 bonus dice, right?
Yep.
I might push for effect again then.
Let me double check. So you can't. You can only do it once. So you start at 0, and then if you use the setup for effect, it goes to 1.
Mm-hmm.
If you use your push for effect, it goes to standard. And then Wrecking Crew just gives you a level of effect, so that would, with the gambit, so that would set it to great.
Oh, cool. Okay, cool. And then that's 1 bonus dice.
1 for Wrecking Crew,
still
1
3.
for assist. Yeah.
3. Okay.
Yeah. 1 Wrecking Crew, 1 assist, 1 gambit.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I rolled so many 1s and 2s.
What?
Oh no. This was not the crit.
I can't believe that. What are the odds on rolling that
very
many 2s?
Very low.
Oh, but this is why we play games with dice. Cool. So I think you scrape the hull and it catches the enemy ship, and it also catches Dipper, and it also catches Scion. And Scion, your suit is now damaged, so you are dying in space, and you watch both the ships zoom right past you. So that's the scenario that we're in. Dipper, you also take level 4 harm. You are completely destroyed. Would you like to resist any of that?
I would like to resist it. I would totally like to resist this.
Awesome. Actually, you know what? I want you and Mr. Lumpkin here to think about that for a second, and we're going to go to the other ship and see what Samara is doing for a hot second before we find out. Because, like, I think this is just one of those moments, right? Like, where we see Dipper charge in, we see, like, a laser axe coming for you, we see the bada of a heavy blaster, and you, like, leap and, like, sort of roll in space, like, past all of them. You see the asteroid coming, you lift up 2 people, and then the ship hits you. And then, like, we see you, like, both floating in space, and everyone's like, oh, and then the scene cuts. So, yeah. So, Samara, what are you doing on the other ship? Go ahead.
So I think we cut to me taking another shower, because that feels like an amazing cut to me. Because, yeah, I ran away from Dude's room with this awful realization And why would I not take a second shower? Anyway, we're done with that part.
So are you taking a shower while the ship's on fire? Is that what I'm hearing?
Wait, am I on the same ship as them?
Not as them, but I mean the other ship is under fire and like in
under
combat
fire. I'm
maneuvers.
Sorry. I misunderstood. I'm sorry. No, I would not do that then. No, I think that I would try to make myself useful, but
I mean, it's fine. Like we can cut to you like just like in the shower, and then like we hear the intercom like, all right, everybody get like it's about to get spicy, you know, like combat stations or whatever.
Yeah, I dig that. And then I have like all but like my fine jacket back on when I come back to a con station or whatever. Yeah, but I'm going to be useful. I want to help the ship because I'm on this ship and I don't want it to, you know, get more holes in it. But also I would like to investigate how to secretly pass my friends a message because I have some information I think might be helpful to them.
Well, you get a very, very handy opening because I think Athena looks at you and says, so what the fuck can you do on a ship?
What can I do on a ship? I'm a scoundrel. Let me look at my sheet. I mean,
you can just say like, usually I run comms. That's a good.
Sure, I will do that. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Now, are you lying?
I don't think that it's like a sort of it's a gray area. It's complicated. I've definitely run comms before on ships, but also I don't think that it's a thing. I don't think I'm trained in anything specifically. I think I've just done a bunch of odd jobs.
Cool. So I think you just I can run comms, and she's like, great, you're on sensors, you know.
Right.
Mm-hmm. That's
I might be relaying. It might be me relaying to you their coordinates, you know, as we're or Dipper relayed to you the coordinates rather as we're
cool. So we hear you rattle off like, you know, all right, we've got 3 incoming, these directions, yada yada yada, and then we see you doing something else. And what is it that you're doing? Are you like typing up a message because typing is the most efficient form of communication in space?
Definitely, yeah, definitely typing.
The silent form.
My friend Whisper, yeah. What's a very succinct, punchy way for me to say that I think the whole thing is a ruse. I think the prisoner is really the captain of the ship. I think we're being had. Something like that. Yes.
It's a trap.
It's a trap. Yes. Thank you for that amazing setup, Sean. It's a trap.
I feel like you gave me the amazing setup.
That's all I say is I just 3 little words. It's a trap. Heart, Sam.
Akbar.gif.
Yeah.
Somebody must have an Akbar emoji on Twitch, please. If you
I'm
do.
sure. Yes.
So if there was ever a time to use your power of emojis, now there's now.
Mm-hmm. There's even a squid man.
Yes. There's even a squid man.
It's true. That's true. So I think Whisper, what do you do when you get this message on your comm, right? Like, I mean, things are on fire. You're like,
of course this is coming through at the worst possible time, and
of course.
I'm like I've got one hand controlling the helm, flying, one hand in the hollow thing, you know, with the arm, and I see it on the screen. I'm like, of course it's a trap. What do you think? We knew it. Wait, you know, like, because I'm like, the Drexler's Raider, they're here, and you know, so Whisper's like, and then I was like, hold on, you know, Samara wouldn't tell us this for nothing, and I'm just like, where is our crew member, our new crew member?
Oh, I think he's sitting right behind you while you're piloting.
Awesome. I want to look back at him and see and study him and see if I can figure out if he has some gnarly intent.
I'm about to say terrible
study.
It could be like, I mean, I want to look at him like when she says that it's a trap. I mean, the only thing I can think is that it must be that Athena is betraying us, because
I mean, I think you probably get a subsequent message that says the prisoner, whose name I keep spacing on, you know, it's
Victor Bax.
Vic is pulling the strings.
Okay. Yeah.
Now,
so,
I don't know if that means that the guy that's on our ship is also like, I don't know, but
right. So yeah, I look over my shoulder at him because that's what you do in these cinematic shots when you suddenly
course.
get this information that like your friends might actually be betraying you. And I want to see what he's doing. Like, is he just chilling? Is he like look like he's ready to grab me?
So Sean, this is where I tell you that it's like risky limited, where you might get an idea, but you have this memory of him speaking to Dipper, and it's just like the way lets you sense danger and killing intent, and he's just looking at you with that deadpan half-lidded gaze that he was giving the nebula eel, and you're just like, fuck, if I feel anything, he's gonna murder me, like he'll know. So that's why your situation is desperate, is he's just looking at you like, do you want to feel something? What is it that you don't want to think?
I mean, because the good news is I have a nice smoke screen of sheer terror and panic, is like craziness is going on all around me. So, or as just this wild scene out there. Yeah, no, absolutely. I totally want to study this guy, and he can think whatever he wants to think about me based on this study. So you said it, did you say risky or desperate?
It's risky limited. It's desperate standard. Would you like some XP? Lauren, don't forget to mark XP in your desperate action.
I already did.
Let's see.
Thank you for the reminder.
Desperate standard. Yeah, let's do desperate standard. I think for me, what seems desperate is like I'm looking at him when I clearly should be piloting this damn ship.
That's not why it's desperate.
Well, that's what, yeah. Okay, fair.
All right, just so we're clear. Because the consequence isn't going to be from the ships in front of you.
That's true. But I certainly will be distracted by what's going on outside.
Sounds good.
I'm not going to be a good place to defend myself against him. Yeah, so I look back and let's see. I've got one in study. That's always a safe bet.
I think he very calmly just says, I think you lost your mystic. Go ahead. Roll some dice.
Jen, are you willing to give me an assist on this?
Yes, I will.
I think you sending that message encoded.
Yeah, 100%.
If that sound.
Yep.
I'm suspicious. Right. I'm suspicious. I'm suspicious. Roll some dice.
All right.
Roll some dice, Sean.
Study desperate standard. One bonus die. Here we go. Oh, okay. Well, I got that bonus die gave me the 4, so it's better than the 3.
Now the dice betray all of you. So on a desperate action, on a 6, and you know that he's sitting here and it's just like so 2 things are true. 1, you definitely are just like, oh, this motherfucker's about to do something terrible to me. Yeah. Because what you realize is that he knows that you know, right? Yeah. So like it's that moment of you gain the recognition and he also gains the recognition. The difference is that your hands are on piloting controls and his hand is doing this. So I think there's just probably a moment where he just like looks at you and counts the number of people that are on the ship still, realizes that that number is 0, and that he telekinetically bashes you into the windshield. Just a massive hand of force, just nice. So Sean, what would you like to do about this?
I think I'm taking, is this level 3 harm? Is that what's going on?
It's no. So this was the desperate study. Yeah. And I think that I'm not going to give you multiple consequences. I think the consequence is that he's about to do this. Like you realize this just as he realizes it as well. So got
it. Okay, cool, perfect. Then I want to
turn that ship upside down.
I don't think turning the ship upside down will. Well, it could help if I turned gravity off. I said I was in my spacesuit. Is he in a suit right now?
No,
he is not in a suit. And no one else is in the suit. No one
else is on board.
What's that? Yeah, I think we were preparing for them to rupture the hull. Oh man, I want to talk to him. I want to be like, hey, let's be friends. But I think I have like a moment before he does this, right? Like I can sense the like he's about to
yeah, you feel that horrible queasiness of the way shift in your belly.
Exactly.
That incredibly annoying sensation.
Exactly. God, I let another mystic onto my ship. Or
Your ship?
You're gonna be like Conan, where you're just like, I hate wizards. But go on.
Exactly. I have the vote of I hate wizards. Yeah, I pop the airlock and I vent it. I like engage my maglock on my thing, and I tap a button. I want to suck him out. At least not out of the, if not out of the ship.
He's got a harness on, so it's unlikely that he's gonna get sucked out. But there's a thing that you didn't account for, which is that he is a Xeno, and you see his gills lock in. You see like space. Everything like fold, and he just looks at you like, bad move. So this is desperate, right? Like you're piloting, you're venting, you're like flipping the ship, you're just trying anything you can do to distract him, right? What action are you using?
Helm, I think.
Cool. Yeah, I think it's Helm limited, right? Like desperate limited, because he's got defenses against this. He's higher tier, right? Like and they sent the right person to deal with this situation.
Right. I'm gonna push myself for standard effect by spinning around and punching his buckle.
Yeah, do it. I love it.
So that he flies out after all. He's like, fine, I'm strapped in. I'm like, Ula never fixed that buckle, and I just like slam it. And Ula never carried much of it.
Yeah, I believe in you. Let's do it, Sean.
Request. Can this be the moment at which we have a flashback to the point where I rigged the engines so that when you like punch the ship into a 360 spin to get some gravity on this, it assists you for the whatever?
Absolutely.
I will absolutely take that. I'm going to take that to improve my position then.
Yeah, that'll improve your position, right? Yeah. Wonderful. Right. So then you can push for dice, because why not? They've been awful to you.
They've been awful to me. So I'm going to push for dice instead. And so that's desperate, standard, and I'm pushing for dice, and I'm using the setup action for effect. Sure, this will go great.
How many stress do I mark for that?
You don't, because you rolled a setup action, yep. So there will be a consequence, and we're about to hear the consequence as soon as Sean does the thing.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right. Yes.
6.
Goodbye, my memish friend.
So Sean, the engine room, like you see like like the camera goes there and no one's in the engine room because Ula's not there. And like you see panels pop off and you see it ignite and fire. And then the air starts sucking out, right? And like your pilot seat, like you see the screws popping off of it as he's like calmly telekinetically going. And then you say, Ula never fixed that one, and you punch it. And then you see both the flames and him go out of the ship. Because you rolled a 6, so there's no consequence yet. Right. But the engine is overheating, even though there's now oxygen in the engine compartment currently. So you know, it's Tuesday. Let's switch back to our 2 people floating in space dying. How's it going, you two?
Great.
So
no problem.
Dipper, you're about to die from a ship hitting you at high velocity in basically non-human levels of combat, right? Like a ship hitting you is a lot more than like a person punching you. And Steven, your suit is bleeding out and your oxygen will run out and you will die very quietly in space. So how are you two resisting? If you are resisting, if you want to have a glorious death, you let me know.
So I wanted to like use prowess resist to like roll and take the blow of the ship on like, you know, a sturdier part of my suit instead. Is that possible?
No. But there are things that like, let's play with that. So I think that what you could do is maybe like try and make it a glancing blow so that it deflects you, right? Instead of, because the thing is that the amount of fire and damage is just too much for a suit to basically be like, I can take that punch and live.
Sure.
We can talk about reducing the consequence in a different fashion. So instead of my spacesuit is cracked and my air is bleeding out, which you could theoretically fix with a rig roll. We can say that you're traveling away from any sort of like reliable return vector at high velocity. That's a reduction in consequence. Does that feel good?
Let me think. Okay. I guess the most important outcome that I want to guarantee is that I'm staying with Dipper.
Okay, so let me turn the question to Dipper. Dipper, how are you resisting death?
Yep. Yeah, well, I have 2 propositions. One is the heavy suit likewise has like shield deflectors, and
yeah, you do.
If I can capitalize on my enemy's shield deflectors as well to sort of make a big ball of shield.
That is the Groot effect.
Yeah.
We're also loaded for bear, which means you can have heavy armor. I don't know. I don't know if so like that can absorb 2 levels of harm as well, right?
Yep.
Like you've got lots of protection physically.
Their approach would have been to like sort of cartwheel away using the grapple arms to sort of outrun like to sort of cartwheel like over the ship's hull to some safe spot and maybe take Sion with but it sounds like Sion and I are attuned to each other with the shields. So maybe we can make a big bowl of shields.
Cool. So I think what's going to happen is this ship and all of the people that are getting crushed under it are going to be heading in the same direction. That includes you, Sion. So both of you are barreling away from the ship, but like in the same general vicinity. Is that fair? All right, great. So prowess resist from Sion, please, and let's talk, Lauren, while that prowess resist is going off because that's just mechanics. But do you remember what it takes to make your shields go?
Oh yeah, it's 2 stress. I have to get the door quickly.
Okay, go ahead. Sorry, run. We'll get you right after.
Nice.
Yeah, so I take 3 stress from that prowess roll, and that reduces that.
Yep. So you're fine. You tuck and roll at the last possible second, and you see the crack happen, but it doesn't shatter, right? Like so, like there's no leak. It's just cosmetic at this point.
Nice. The crack across the faceplate, just so we know it's imminent.
So
it's a consequence that'll keep happening in the future.
Yeah.
I'm flying away from the Persephone with Dipper, and also in the same vector as the ship that hit us.
Yep, there's a shuttle, but it's wrecked. Like it ate an asteroid. Now, I don't want you to feel like you're floating in space and there's no options here. You could try some hokey maneuver where you like blow their engines. You could try and like jump on an enemy ship and try to take it over. Like you could bounce from asteroid to asteroid to do something fancy. Like there's a bunch of options here. Like I'm not just gonna be like, no, you float in space and there's nothing near you.
Die. Yeah. No, I've got some ideas for things that could happen here.
Cool. So you're good, Lauren. Spend 2 stress to reduce your damage by 1. And you can spend both armors if you want to just have level 1 harm. But if you want to have level 0 harm, you're gonna have to roll resistance on top of all that.
Oh yeah, why not?
You took a lot of damage. That Despero was rough.
It was, deservedly so. Yeah, I'll resist that. Yeah, totally. So I spend the armor plus roll to resist, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Don't trauma.
Cool.
That's not bad. It cost you 1 more stress, and now you're at zero damage, 0 harm. You survived all of that somehow by absorbing it mostly into your shields and your enemy's shields. And a bunch of your like armor plates are like crushed and dinged, but your internals are safe and your limbs are still functional.
We totally see it depressed, like underneath all the strain and pressure of like, yeah.
We see some like poor Drexler Raider like bounce off an asteroid and go cartwheeling into space. Just to...
Since this is both Ula's manufacturing, I would love to see like one of the bolts on your armor like strain and pop, just as I'm smashing the same style bolt on the seatbelt of the Mystic as it pops and he goes flying, and we see like Ula's work enduring all this damage.
That is very good. I love it.
So yeah, if we recall, you have arms that like detach the wrist and have cabling, so you can catch your friend if you want without too much trouble, I assume. So yeah.
Oh heck yeah.
So what's the plan with the 2 of you? How are you planning to get back? Is there an idea? Is there a concept?
So like I missed like the tail end of what happened to Sion. Is Sion like in space?
Yeah. Sion and you are tumbling through space. There's a bunch of like wrecked Drexler's Raiders. The one that's still like functional. You just chuck off and bounce off an asteroid. So there's this like broken wreck of a landing shuttle that's like floating, and the 2 of you are like near it / clutched onto it as it's spinning away from the whole thing. Like your ships are heading that direction, not the same direction as you.
Excellent. Yeah, I'll totally try and I think like gently grapple onto Sion to at least like keep us connected while we're tethered together.
I think I shout, if you can get us to that shuttle, I can turn those engines back on.
Oh, I was just double checking if I if I had jets. I really don't. The best I can do is
You do have a grapple arm.
Got grapple arms.
Oh yeah, grapple arms.
You got 4 of them.
Oh yeah, duh. Oh yeah, I'll try. I'll have one tethered to Scion, and then the others I think I'll try and use to maneuver us like in that direction.
All right, cool. So if the situation is dangerous, you only roll if something is dangerous or difficult, and I feel like grappling when you're not under immediate fire is probably neither of those. So I'm just gonna say that the thanks to your Xeno modifications, you actually land on. You're not a Xeno, you're an Urbot, but yeah, thanks to your Urbot modifications, you land on the shuttle without too much trouble. Like there's a dramatic scene of just like, Spider-Manning.
Oh yeah, totally.
But yeah, you're on the shuttle within minutes, and then I assume we see Scion. Like, what's your plan? Are you gonna actually like go in the back and like activate the engines from like the rear, or like?
Is there anybody on this shuttle?
No, it's a landing shuttle. It had 6 people, and that pilot just got hit by an asteroid at high velocity in mid combat. Like, there's nothing left inside.
Yeah,
It's a big wreck.
Yeah, it's a pretty big wreck. Like the shuttle is still held together, but it's the equivalent of like a high impact car crash, right? Like they don't put airbags in these things for asteroids. Like it's pretty rough.
So if I were going to try to rig this right now, just as is, what kind of roll would that be?
I mean, risky because like the G's alone, like this doesn't have like gravity dampeners and stuff built into it that are functional.
Yeah.
The G's alone will like crush you. Also, like trying to maneuver it is hard. You could end up heading into an asteroid. Like you don't have like nice controls like Whisper does, to like actually move the ship and like
I think
agile
you'll just have
ways.
to wait until it's pointed in the right direction and then fire it, right?
And then-
like you're gonna have to spin and spin and spin and just like get
so,
the
like,
timing right.
Those are the risks that may happen, right? Like if you roll a 4 to 5, you may be going, but going in the wrong direction. You may be going, but there's an asteroid between you and where you're going.
I meant like rig in order to like repair these engines so that they're more usable.
Oh, you can rig them to turn them on briefly and blow what remaining fuel exists. But if what you mean is like, and now we have another ship, then that's not happening on this thing ever again.
Okay.
Scion literally like intentionally wrecked it off an asteroid at like heavy combat speed. So
Whisper did, but yes.
Whisper, my bad.
Oh,
now
yeah,
I'm switching you. Oh
you
no.
do it all the time.
Yeah.
I think you can just wait until it's pointed in the right direction. You're spinning, and then you just gun it. And if you need more time, you have an artifact that makes time.
That's exactly what I was thinking about, right? Like,
Wow.
I have this artifact.
All right.
I can give myself 8 hours with my repair tools to try to fix this thing up so that it's a little more reliable.
I take my statement back. I did not expect that to actually be in play.
That's the direction I'm heading.
All right, I'm still going to say it's risky because you don't have all the tools on hand, and you're going to have to make a lot of guesses. And you're not exactly an aerospace engineer.
No.
Okay.
I think we've seen the one time that Scion has worked on an engine.
Yep.
This episode.
It was fine. It worked. It was on fire, but only a little.
All right, cool. I turn to Dipper and I say, "Don't go out of the bubble." And then I pull this, like I open some flap on my suit and I pull out this crystalline tree and I spend a gambit.
Nice.
And I turn it on.
Awesome. So actually, let me retract my statement. I think that we're going to start in a controlled position, and if you roll a 4 to 5, I'm going to tell you why it's risky.
Yeah.
Because something might light on fire, and then you're going to have to deal with that problem. Yep. But like, if you roll a 6 straight up, you're fine. It's good. It's just controlled.
Cool. Yeah. So like, this like shimmering wall of force appears, at a distance of like 4 meters or something from me. It's this sphere, and all of the space outside of it is in black and white, and all of the space inside is in color. And we're just like frozen, and everything outside is also frozen. And we can move around on this ship and do whatever we want. So I pull out a set of repair tools, and I go to work on this thing.
Please make a go ahead.
Oh, Dipper is just like so blown away by what's happening right now. I think it's like the first time Dipper's like really seen the effects of the way like this and is captivated by the whole thing.
Awesome.
Would you like to roll your rig here?
Yeah. Dipper, you don't have any remaining stress, do you?
I do. I can totally try and assist somehow.
That would be valuable. I mean, it might be as simple as like use your grapple arm to pull that thing from over there over here, and then just like hold them together while I like apply this like pocket welder onto the.
Yeah.
That's super cool. I picture it happening, yeah, very much like it's such contrast to what we just saw with the grapple arms. This is a bit more like sort of finessed.
Yep.
Those delicate movements. Yeah.
So I activated that thing. I cannot push myself, so I'm rolling with 2.
Yep.
All right, and this is a controlled standard?
Yeah.
Okay.
No problem. 8 hours, plenty of time. That's great. Oh.
All right.
Good. Would you like to make the same rig roll and risky? Because I'll tell you what the risk is.
Yeah, let's do it.
The Roll20 is doing weird on the stream, so everybody knows that was a 4, and I'm going to fix Roll20 right now. As you guys talk.
Cool. So this is what happens: is you mostly repair the engines, but they fire.
Woo!
And so there's no problem with that. It's working. It's fine. It's just they're about to take you outside of your bubble.
Yeah. So like, do I just roll rig again to try to like?
Yeah, same die pool. So it's the same. It's the same roll. It's just now risky. And if this goes south, then we'll talk about desperate, and it may not be rig.
Standard. And I still have the 2 dice this time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep, it's the same roll, just risky. Your position. So that's the great thing about control is that it can make you risky, but you kind of keep the roll moving forward, right? Because you're in the same position with the same assistants, with the same stuff. But fictionally, the fiction has changed. Now the situation is risky, right? Because like you're like this here. I have another 2 hours to finish this. That's fine. All right, let's test it, and then it fires up, right? Yeah. And so like now it's the same thing, just risky. So let's see them dices. Hey,
out of 5
about that desperate. So I think that you do manage to stop the engine, right? But not before it crosses the threshold with you folks. And that's when you realize that although the world is black and white and all of the other ships are frozen in time and you've got plenty of time to work on your ship, there are things in this world that are not. And you realize partially that the reason there is a warning to never cross the threshold is because there are some very angry way creatures that are coming right at you.
Yes.
So do you remember all the lessons with the nebula eel? I think that there is a moment where some 8-eyed giant way creature monstrosity is just like, and then we're going to switch to Samara. Samara, what are you doing on the other ship?
Go ahead, Sean.
There was one statement I wanted to make, and it's relevant to this transition. It's 2 words long. Void blade.
We just transition over to the other ship. It's just a bloodbath. Samara's just standing there on the bridge with
I'm just saying there's not very many ways to hurt void creatures.
So the thing about that though is that like Samara's on a ship full of people who could very quickly become hostile to her.
Oh yeah.
Not dumb enough to just take out the void blade. As much as I want the void blade to come out.
No, I was more thinking for when this way creature manifests and we have no ability to fight it, and that's the only thing that can hurt it. But
well,
no,
I mean,
on your ship, you've got different problems to deal with.
Yeah. What am I doing? I mean, I'm appraised of my friend's situation. Yes, Josh.
Sure. Yeah. You're at the sensors of this ship.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, this is probably the moment where you hear Athena say, "What was that?" And that's when you see the like flare of flame coming out of the Persephone and like the one tiny body of a image going. So
so I think that I'll probably just shout like, "They were breached. The Drexlers got them." I mean, because
that's what Drexler writers do. Yeah,
that's possible a thing.
So are you lying to them? This feels like a pretty reasonable lie.
Yeah, I think I am lying to them because I think I saw some of Whisper's fancy flying, and I probably saw that shuttle get clipped. So
Yep.
yeah, I think it is a lie.
Cool. So I feel like this is a controlled sway because you're trying to convince them to focus on their plans and ignore your ship and your friends and all the problems happening there.
Okay. Controlled standard.
Yeah, it's pretty reasonable. I don't think
And-
any of their like rank or suspicion applies here yet.
Yeah. Jen, do you want an assist?
Sure.
Because I think we have open comms.
Yeah.
So we can coordinate. And I'm like, under, and I push under the comms. I'm
Yeah.
like, under fire, and basically convey that things are. And I think in doing that, I'm going to say something to Samara that will convey that I got your message. I'm like, and I say, just like being on a isotropic prison ship, and as I scream, we're under fire, and so I want to assist.
Okay.
And if you want to push yourself, it's cheaper. But if not, you're still just
You get a die.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am gonna push myself because I am doing okay on stress. I got a crit.
All right.
Nice.
Once again, Jen manages to stay away from all of the failed desperate rolls.
Fantastic. Yeah, you're in good shape. They not only 100% believe you, they stop paying attention to you, right? So like you've got a perfect setup if you want to do something sneaky, but they're just like, God damn it, like Athena's you see the pilot glance at her captain, and you realize that your pilot is the pilot on this ship is better than the pilot on your ship. They're an actual pilot.
Mm-hmm.
And you see the pilot like look at Athena and just be like, what's the call? They have ace pilot is what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
So she says, what's the call, boss? And I think that Athena like is looking at the battlefield in front of her, and she goes, she sort of says like over your shoulder, she says like, how bad is that ship damaged?
The shuttle or my ship? The
Your ship.
Persephone.
The Persephone.
I mean, it's real bad, right? Like in truth, it's pretty bad.
I think she just looks at her pilot and says like, gun the engines, don't worry about it. And they're gonna flare and overtake the Persephone here. But yeah, they're busy, right? Like they're still dodging asteroids and things like that.
So Athena, tell me what I'm failing to divine from this order. Are we running away? Are we going to help the Persephone?
Yeah, they're gonna let the Persephone sink and leave it as basically like bait for the raiders and gun for the hyperspace lane.
I don't like that at all.
It's a very reasonable order, right? Like,
no, for sure.
Dead in the water.
It's almost definitely what Samara would do if she were in Athena's place, but she's not in Athena's place. So, yeah. So the Void Blade has come out. It's going to come out. I just have to decide what I want to do with it. Especially because they're not looking at me right now.
You could also get to Bax if you wanted to. I'm sure you could go get the prisoner if that's what we came for. Just throwing that idea out there.
Yeah. Do I just assault Athena or do I go get Bax? That's a great question.
Well, there's pros and cons.
Sure.
Because Athena and the pilot are not looking at you. If you go to get Bax could potentially yell or cause trouble or alert other people, etc. So you have a clean shot. This is probably actually going to be controlled to backstab these people because your Lao is that good. But if you backstab them, then who the fuck is piloting the ship? So it's complicated because it'll make the situation a lot clearer. There's literally one person and two lizards on the ship aside from Bax and you. And these two people in front of you, and then Victor Bax, right? Like there's like 4 people total. Oh, and somebody in medbay, possibly. I don't know if you went and checked on them.
I have not checked on them.
Right, and so you can take these two out real easy right now, but then you're left with a ship that you need to pilot somehow.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's a dash for Bax, get him in the seat, tell him his life depends on piloting this, or what the case is.
I mean, my intention isn't to kill the two people in the cockpit. My intention is to maybe severely wound the captain and force the pilot to come to my crew's aid.
Oh, I see.
Right. Because Samara's not, I mean, she's a pirate. She's willing to murder, but murder is not, usually doesn't save you a bunch of money. So dead people can't pay you.
It's true.
So, yeah. I think, let's be spicy. Let's go get Bax.
Awesome. So I think, great. Yeah, you just like dash off the bridge, right? And Athena's like, where the hell are you? Oh, whatever. And like, she's given orders, like they're in combat, right? Like she's just like, this explains so much about their ship. So
sure does.
All right. Cool. So yeah, you're in Bax's room in like 30 seconds flat. Now what?
Yep. So I open his door. I have my void blade out.
Yep.
And I tell him, listen, I know what's up. I know you've got Athena in your pocket. Athena's about to walk away from my friends. I can't let that happen. Either I kill you now or you help me out. And I get the void blade ready to chop off his head.
How exactly do you expect me to help you?
I mean, tell her not to leave my friends. I know that you're running this show, asshole.
Does their ship have a shuttle?
Yeah. We mentioned this like literally.
Yeah.
Earlier
So
this
you could both hop on their shuttle and fly our ship and leave them, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, because this ship is on fire, right? Or under fire?
It's under fire. Yeah.
Under fire. Yeah, so maybe let me retcon a little bit of that and say we're getting on a shuttle, which I'm sure. I'm not sure he'd be for, because I do think he's running the show. But he might be willing to come with me with a void blade at his neck. So.
Yeah, I think he says, like, do you think it's really wise to be piloting your shuttle in this shitstorm? You that good a pilot?
No, and I don't usually live my life by wisdom.
2 seconds later, he goes, that explains so much about your ship.
Yep, correct.
Cool. So I think it's a shot of the two of you, you know, entering the shuttle. So actually, I have a question for you. I think that there's probably like, I'm sorry, you get to be an action adventure star for half a second here, Jen. I think that you've got your void blade at Victor Bax's like back, right? And as you enter the shuttle bay, there is the bounty hunter who's on their crew with like the two space lizards, of which you only see one.
Of
and
course.
You know, he's standing there with like some wacky looking electro whip because sci-fi. And yeah, he just like looks at you and says, "Where do you think you're going?" So I'm gonna give you this for free. You don't have to roll any dice, but like in his eyes, you see that he thinks that you're stealing the bounty.
Sure. I mean,
he's like, "Oh, you've been planning to steal the bounty all along because you want the money, right?" So you're double crossing us. Yes, he didn't quite put together the fact that you have put together other pieces. So yeah.
Sure. Yeah. I think I actually laugh at that because to me, right, Bax has been running this whole show. He's clearly smarter than everybody else on board, and he let himself get captured with or without Athena's knowledge, right? For a while, I thought he was working with her, but now I'm wondering if maybe he's just outsmarted everybody. So I think I do start laughing, and I say, listen, I wasn't even single crossing you. This guy's been running this whole damn show, and your captain's about to let all of my crew die, and I can't let that happen. And I think I actually like push the void blade uncomfortably close to Bax's neck, right? Because he's not worth anything to this crew dead. And if they let me escape with him alive, then they can come after him. But if he's dead, then they'll just kill me and nobody will have any bounty at all. That's my play.
trying to decide how cocky Bex is. I think Bax looks at the guy there and he says, it's not the worst plan I've heard, but I don't fancy flying out there in that shitstorm. And then he just says, killer, right? And the other dude says, my pleasure, which is right around the time that the other six-limbed lizard hits you.
Yep.
From the side.
Mhm.
Would you like to resist that? Like,
I would love to resist that.
Awesome. Yeah. How do you resist that?
I mean, I resist that with swinging my fucking void blade.
Okay. All right. Awesome. So this is a desperate scrap, is what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Desperate standard scrap. Let's. All right. So you make this roll, and you're going to be able to cut your way through some lizards. And then there's probably still the issue of Electro Whip Boy on the docket. So
yeah, I have a 1 in scrap, so I'm definitely gonna push myself.
Excellent.
For 2 stress and 1 additional die. This is desperate. Standard.
Yeah.
Cool.
Wish I could help, but
no, it's fine.
So I think
4.
Okay, so this is where I tell you that, you get the first lizard and the other lizard, like bites onto your shoulder or whatever. And so there's 2 things that are true here, and you can resist some consequences because this is desperate, right? So complication number 1, your spacesuit is completely effed, right? Like there's lizard jaws going through it. You were ready for like no oxygen here or on the shuttle, but now you will not be. Statement 2, the reason this is a level 3 harm is that you've been horrifically poisoned by space lizard venom.
Yep.
This is some awful Aketi creature, and it is super venomous. So yeah, you've got poison running in your veins. So like you do the thing, right? Like you defeat the lizards, but like you've got toxins in your bloodstream here.
Yeah.
So that's where you at.
I would love to resist both of those, but I don't know that I have enough stress to do both of those.
Sometimes you're just like, okay, that hurt. Ow.
Yeah. I think
I want to pose a possibility for resisting the harm at least. If you have that heavy armor underneath your suit, can a Aketi lizard bite through heavy armor?
I need to be very clear. Light armor is stormtrooper armor. Heavy armor is not going under any suit.
Okay.
It is not small. But
Space
you can't have
though.
Which is fine. You can actually be wearing your armor. I just want to make it clear for the future. You can't have heavy armor on under clothing. You look like a space marine, which is fine. Like if you showed up with your suit and you're like, yeah, this is my suit for my spaces, and they're like, okay, you don't have any giant rocket lasers on it. We don't have a problem with you wearing your giant armored spacesuit.
Impressive pauldrons, but all right, bro.
Yeah, exactly, right? So yeah.
I mean, as much as I would like that, I don't think Samara would have actually shown up in heavy armor. That's not really her style. So I'm gonna resist the poison because that seems. I would love to resist the spacesuit, but I don't know how to do that without like also resisting the poison, if that makes sense. Like to get the poison into me, it has punctured my suit, right?
Sometimes you just roll with the consequence. You're just like, fine, I'll patch it later. But like you can say that, like you catch the void blade between his jaws and you're like holding it so it doesn't go like all the way in. So instead of your shoulder being completely wrecked and you bleeding out of it with like venom mixed with your blood, you're just like hurt and poisoned, but like it's not like completely injected in you and like quart quantities.
Actually, I think, I'm going to resist the spacesuit having holes in it because that's the one I'm actually more interested in resisting right
now.
How? I wonder if I have some kind of like patch that I can slap on it.
Okay. That's actually an insight resist. Like you had the foresight and anticipation.
No, I don't want to do that.
Oh, okay.
That's my worst resist.
So sorry, I was just interpreting an action. My bad.
Yeah, no.
Well, I mean, you can roll prowess because like this is also like usually you do the consequences of a physical action is what prowess is technically.
Yeah.
So yeah, this would be
I would much prefer to do prowess.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay.
That's fine.
No bonus dice. So it cost me 3 stress.
Yep.
Which seems apt.
So yeah, you drop this thing. You've got massive internal injuries. Like you have to actually drop your void blade for a couple of seconds to slap patches on, right? Like and you hear the sealant, and then like you see the suit light turn green, but like one of your hands is completely non-functional. You need assistance to even walk at this point, BT dubs. That's what level 3 harm is.
Okay.
So what do you want to do?
I mean, I want to kill this guy that just said kill me.
Cool. You're gonna have to pay 2 stress to push yourself.
Great.
To ignore the effects of your wounds.
Do you trauma when you need to mark stress and can't, or when you mark your last?
It's after the action.
Okay.
Oh, it is.
That messes me out.
Okay. Actually, how many stresses in the sheet
9
there?
It's 9. It's when you mark your max stress.
Yeah, you're gonna trauma here, but you get your action.
That seems apt. Yep.
This also feels like an appropriate moment to trauma.
Yes, it does.
So, by the way, this confusion here is why in Band of Blades we're like, no, you can fill up your bar, and then you trauma. But like, yeah.
Yep.
We don't have any gambits.
You guys spent them all, and I haven't rolled enough to generate any.
Yeah.
Gotta roll some more 6s.
Sometimes you just gotta roll the dice.
Yeah.
This is the Conan moment.
How do you roll? Is it when you crit or when you just roll 6s?
6s on risky, but or desperate for you because you have never told me the odds.
Yep. Okay. Yeah. So this is just a scrap, I guess.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Okay. Desperate. Yes.
Yeah.
Very desperate. Standard. Okay. No bonus dice. I got a 3. Totally dead. I don't even kill him.
Yeah, you definitely don't kill him. I think that there's just like a moment where you're like swayed on your feet, your void blade comes out, you lock eyes with him, you charge forward, and then we see the electro whip wrap around you. We see all the electrocution go through, and then you fall over. So as you black out, I'm gonna ask our 2 intrepid in-space adventurers, how do you deal with the giant way creature that's just translating in and about to eat the both of you?
Well, I think Dipper channels the eel from the tank and is trying to like sort of do like snap back with like all the grapple arms to sort of threaten it a bit. Like, no, we're really scary.
Oh, okay. You'd like to roll? Is command the action here? I forget.
I think it's command. Yeah.
Okay, sorry. I've been playing a game that has the scare stat. Yeah, it is command.
But I'm happy to do this in conjunction with Scion and have that be like an assist if Scion has it. And I wanted to check in with Scion first before I do anything.
Yeah, I mean, I think so. Like, do you have a 2 in command?
I have 1 in command.
So maybe the best way to do this is to have Scion be using a tune to like project a terrifying way aura with his like mental powers, and getting the assist from you snapping your arms. Is that a thing I can do towards a way creature using a tune?
You want to project a terrifying way aura?
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know.
So we have 2 actions in conflict here. So like one of you is rolling an action and the other person is assisting. So I feel like generally, no, that's not a thing a tune does. But this is a weird situation, right? Like it's a way creature. So essentially what you say is like, I would like to scare it with a tune. And what I will tell you is like, okay, desperate 0 effect. Convince me. Like, tell me a story. Why does this work? So it's like, this is why like players pick the action and then I gauge how effective it is. So I don't know. How do you folks want to approach this?
So let's talk about fiction here for a second.
Mm-hmm.
What's the positioning and effect on her using command?
Okay.
I mean, this thing is very large, so I think it gets scale in this argument.
Yep.
So I would say that it is desperate limited.
Sure. Feels like it's better, Lauren, if I use my attune powers to try to help you with your command.
It's not going to work because it's too fast. You get one action. It's attacking you now, so
sorry,
you can't.
To be clear,
you don't have time for a setup.
Not a setup, an assist.
Oh, okay, perfect. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. I kind of picture it could be using the grapple arms as the base for this projection, and then kind of wrapping some scary attune void creatures around it.
Cool. So I think, Stephen, among other things, you can sense its disposition. You can sense its emotional state and stuff. So what is working and what isn't, and you can this is one of those when somebody's trying to do something scary, you can reinforce the parts that actually are scary.
Yes.
Okay, cool. So Steven's been distress.
Yep.
Lauren, go ahead and roll command plus 1d. Go ahead and mark a resolve XP, I guess, because this is desperate, and let's see how it goes.
Okay, I'll push myself as well for an extra dice. And it's desperate limited, right?
Yeah. Well, actually, if you push yourself for effect, it's desperate standard.
Actually,
at which point the critter's just going to be like, why are these humans in my space? This is so weird.
Okay, I'll push for effect, add a bonus die. Let's see how it goes. Oh, I got 4s.
Okay. So this is usually where I have to give you a really bad consequence. So let me think about this. You know what? We'll deal with this in downtime. I think that it happens. I think that you scare it. I think that it just gets really confused about why there are things in this space that are doing the things that are not supposed to. And it's I'm supposed to eat you. But you keep waving your arms. You keep jumping around you're not scared of it at all. And it doesn't understand really well. So I think it shies away by a couple of feet. It's all right, you're just too confusing for me, my animal brain. And it opens its jaws, and then it somehow grows in size, and then it bites onto the weird crystalline effect that was surrounding the ship, and it collapses it. So I think that you two find yourself on a ship, and I'm going to ask both of you. So this is where we talk about resistances or how this is going to go. But I think that your level 3 harm is that you're slowly crystallizing. That crystalline effect, your bodies are going to start corrupting because you were out of time and outside of the bubble when it collapsed. So you have some of that time stop. You're slowly going to be bleeding off color, and eventually you're just going to permanently lock into place and be unable to act unless somebody assists you. So and by sharing time, they'll have to touch you and bring you into this time space. So that might be fixable, but it's going to be a little bit of a long-term project clock. It's not going to be a standard recovery. So this is the weird damage rules that I'm applying. You're effectively cursed. Does that sound cool?
Yep.
And this is where I ask you, would you like to resist that? But I don't know that you have a lot of stress to burn for that.
No, I've got 1 left.
Yes. Trauma.
So in this case, it is a resist and maybe not trauma, or take it and then long-term project for healing crystal damage.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. All right,
I'm
Steven, are you on board for the same?
Yep. Yeah.
All right, looks like the two of you are going to have some bonding to do while researching bizarre artifacts that might heal time shifts. Sweet. Whisper, we haven't seen you in ages, buddy. You vacuum sucked this person out. Now what is the plan?
Well, the plan is ditch the raiders, catch my friends, and put out the fire. And with all 3 of me, that there isn't. So how bad is this fire in my ship?
It's not. There's no oxygen in the ship, which means there's no fire.
Okay.
Your engines are redlining, but it's okay. That's happened before.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure. Okay. This whole time thing happened in a blink for me. So where am I seeing Scion and Dipper?
You see the engines flare, and you see them on a vector heading to sort of where you're supposed to be going to, but it's going to be rough, right? Like they don't have fine control, so you might have to like grapple arm catch them or something.
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, I'm thinking.
You've
I'm
trained for
flying.
this.
Exactly. Dipper, we got this. I think Dipper like dropped out of comms for like a heartbeat during this crystallization thing, and I'm like, like smash the board. I'm like, Dipper, remember what we did? And then I'm like, shit, you don't have your jets, but they've got a shuttle, so I'm like, we're gonna intercept. And we see like on screen with the hollow arm, like this projecting like their ship and our ship, and I'm trying to do really quick calculations, and I'm gonna fly by and catch a hold of the shuttle because it'll be easier to grab than either of them, and then they can climb with the arm. So I think I want to make a helm roll to catch my friends and get them back in, and the door's open. They can just climb right in the airlock. No biggie.
Awesome. Go ahead. It's a risky helm. It's fine.
Yeah, feels
I can
right.
assist in trauma if you like.
Totally. I mean, if
you want a trauma, you should do that. But if you don't want a trauma, probably better to save it just in case. Well, trauma is XP though.
Yeah. It is experience points.
How broken do you want to be by this experience?
Broken? Would you like to become reckless?
Yeah, I was gonna say I was really eyeing up reckless because I spent so much time with Scion that has to have an effect on someone. So
sure.
I can throw an assist in all trauma, and it feels pretty reckless. Like you probably don't need the help, but it's like I'm gonna help anyway.
I mean, it's cool also in that like you're obviously going to be straining to do this because like this is, like I said, this is something we practice, so us coordinating on this totally makes sense.
And I think too, I don't really want to lay on how much I'm affected by the crystalline stuff, so it's like I'm probably like, you can't see this, but I'm probably fighting through like the initial effects of the crystal stuff. I don't want you to know that I'm not okay. Like,
right,
everything is
I'm
fine.
okay, I'm fine, I'm helping.
Yeah.
Nice.
Totally.
All right, risky standard with one bonus die from my Urbot friend. Nice.
So risky standard does a thing. Boop.
Boop.
And also it advances this clock, which so far we've mostly been dealing with consequences of your bad rolls.
Yeah.
Good job, but you're actually making progress to getting out of this shit show. Cool. So A gambit is generated. B, so I think you catch him. There are no further consequences, and your ship is functional. And even though the engine is like really deep in the red line now, still on fire.
Still not on fire.
And Scion resisted his spacesuit being punctured, so he comes on board, brings the. So Scion, how guilty do you feel about the outcomes of everything that happened? Not okay. Good to know.
I mean, I feel like the situation on the Isotropa Max felt a lot more like Scion made a bad call that he was advised not to make, and then that like weighed on him a bit. Now it's more like Scion was like, okay, I'm going up on the hull to assist Dipper. Oh no, we both got shot off into space. Gotta get to take a Dipper, gotta like try to repair the thing. It doesn't feel like Scion made bad decisions that put other people in danger.
You were just unlucky.
Yeah.
Okay.
At least that's how this particular situation feels to Scion.
Awesome. So I think Whisper, you're gonna have to dodge and weave because the other ship, the Owl, is way ahead of you, heading towards the hyperspace gate.
Exactly.
So we'll talk about that in a second.
Okay.
I have a different scene in mind here. Samara, I think that you're expecting to be dead, right? Because that was the desperate consequence.
Yep.
But you wake up and Victor Bax does not have cuffs on and is holding your void blade, like looking at it like, well, this is a fun toy and it's mine now. And he looks at you and says, good morning. And you feel like the ship still shudders. So you've only been out for like a couple of minutes, but you're like tied to a chair, right? So you're now the prisoner, as it were. And he says, it was a pretty risky plan you had there. What is your name?
Samara Bosa.
I
think I laugh when he says plan, like we had a plan.
Yeah. It says, but I do have a plan.
Of course you do.
And you are currently the fly in my ointment. So
why am I alive?
Well, Samara, you have two options in front of you. One of them involves working for me and helping me execute my plan. And the other one involves being jettisoned into space very unceremoniously. Do we have preferences?
I mean, I don't really want to die, so I guess I'm working for you now.
Good. Convince me.
I don't think she can get it up to like play this fucking game. He's like, I lay eyes on the blade. You've got my blade. What else am I gonna do, man? I don't know what you want me to tell you.
He says, you could betray me the moment that I let you go, because as much as I like to feel like I treat my people fairly, and if you're employed by me, you're actually gonna get paid. There's really no downside to working for me, but you seem to have this pesky need that you previously assured me of to see how a situation plays out. So tell me, how's the situation playing out?
I will always just go with the flow. That's how I'm here today, and not, in Isotropa Max, where I was supposed to go. I won't promise that I won't betray you if I get the chance. So if you want me to work for you, you're just gonna have to keep eyes on me.
I think he smiles and he says, do you understand how many cards I'm holding right now?
I understood the moment I met you.
And then he smiles and he says, if you betray me, I'm not gonna keep eyes on you. I'm just gonna make you wish that you died. And then he stands up and he wiggles the void blade and he says, I'm keeping this, and then just walks out of the med bay. And I think that's the scene, right? Like,
okay.
Ooh, scary threats. Ooh. So yeah. Cool. Sean, you want to make that final piloting roll?
Yeah, I think I cut over the column. So I'm like, what happened, Owl? The plan was you stayed in we stayed on your wing, and I'm gunning it towards them. I'm chewing the pilot out across the columns for breaking plan. As though I'm not hip to anything that's going on there.
I think what you hear is Athena says, it's your stupid crew member. She told me that you were sunk. And the pilot's just like, what's the matter, old man? Can't keep up with me? And just punches the edges even harder. Nice. She goes, ignore my pilot. I'm dead serious. We just thought you were sunk.
Good. Glad to know that's how that's our relationship. And and I'm like, Scion, you better make sure those engines don't blow up. If they do, Ula's gonna have your head. And I'm gonna gun it after them. I think it's
all right.
I go immediately stomping down the hallway into the engine room, and I just see like radiating heat pouring off the engines, and I go, oh shit.
You just get that moment where you're like, that's what it was for. It was a heat equalizer, right? So Sean, give me a roll.
Yeah, what's our I'm doing helm.
It's just risky.
Yeah.
Just risky. It's fine.
Sean, I grab a wrench, I pull something out of place, I shove it back in place, and then I shout over comms, go! And I give you an assist.
Perfect. Look at that go.
Nice. Here we go. Risky, standard.
There's a gambit on the table in case you need it.
I think just in case this might be the last roll of the game, but we'll go with that. All right. Well, that helped, did it?
Well, you do it. You're gonna hit the hyperspace lane. That's gonna be the end of the job here in a second. But first, Scion, you're in the engine room when that heat just absolutely starts melting everything.
Awesome.
What do you want to do about that? Other than you can take a little too harm, radiation burns. But
yeah, I've traumatized out because of the assist.
Nice.
I'm going to be taking a haunted because now I'm terrified and haunted by way creatures.
Oh, good. That's never going to end poorly.
Yeah.
I would like to resist that. I'd like to do a protect action to resist harm there, but I mean,
how would you like to do a protect action, Sean?
Because I think what happens.
How will you take level 2 harm when you're not even in the room?
I think by saying, I think we've established already that this has autopilot, and the moment we hit that hyperspace lane, I'm going to run in there and grab the pulse ion out of it. And I also have the little asbestos blanket, the little fireproof asbestos blanket to wrap him up in. And
thank you for telling me a story, Sean. That's delightful. So I think Scion is burning to death when you absolutely do this and take the burns for him. You fireman carry Scion out. Yeah. Cool. You take level 2 harm, Sean. Radiation burns.
I was going to resist with my heavy armor, but like if you want to take radiation burns.
No, this is an amazing scene. Come on.
I'm okay with this.
I was like, Sean, gauntlet thrown down. How do you do this? And Sean's like, well, this is how it happens. And it was awesome. You gotta let it go.
Nice. All right, here. I'm gonna make a prowess resist to resist those radiation burns. And see if I can get that down. Nice. And I'm pulling them out.
Awesome. Cool.
Oh wait, that was way too many dice.
Was it? What do you
I only have 2 in prowess.
I mean, do you want to roll 2d6 and just we'll keep one?
I can do that, or I can keep those first 2, which would trauma me out.
I don't know. Is it trauma all around? Because that's fun.
I think so. I think I'm just
everybody gets trauma. Did we literally just get 4 traumas in episode 3?
Sweet. We totally did.
So. Yes.
All right.
That would be 3 stress, which is more than I can take. Yep.
Whoo.
Nice.
All right. So I just want to establish a couple of things here. Samara, I mentioned that you're in the med bay, and you remember how they kept saying that they had a crew member that was wounded in med bay?
I do.
There's nobody that you can see that's here, but there is a giant stone, vaguely artifacty looking sarcophagus pod thing.
Sure.
It's totally fine. And there does seem to be a figure inside it. And I think that one of the things that happens is like the camera goes in and we see a person we've never seen before, but all of you would recognize as Pasha Arlox, and it looks like a clone of some sort. So good times. We'll end it on that note. Credits roll. So nice. XP time. Jeez, that was a heavy ass episode.
Yes, well, it
was us jumping into our second job immediately after our first job.
Yeah,
it started so well, and then it wasn't. So yeah.
Yeah, I really felt like the working together with them was like, man, yeah, we figured out a smart way. Like we'd have to face the Raiders, but we figured out.
Samara cued in on the fact that there was like a secret plan, and like I was like, oh, this is all turning up aces, and then it just.
Yeah.
That 5-die 3-1-2s.
Yep.
That was good. That was
that
was a tipping
that went to
point.
heart. Yeah.
All right. Well, yeah. Cool. Sweet. Let's do XPs. Scion, go first. Ha ha.
Woohoo! I'm taking 2 XP for addressing challenges via the way.
Yeah, there's no question there.
You just never do wisdom. You're like, wisdom? Nah.
Wisdom is not Scion's thing. Did I express my beliefs, Dry's heritage, or background? What do y'all think?
I'm sorry. So the correct answer is you're probably getting 2 XP, but we should note these scenes because they stand out as standout moments in our minds.
Yeah.
Please, what were they?
We don't have guns. That was really good.
Yeah.
We don't have guns was very good.
Yeah. I was a fan of the it's cool. I have a trick up my sleeve. We're gonna have 8 hours of time in this way bubble.
Okay, cool.
And then as Strauss has been saying over and over again, don't cross the line. Don't cross the line. Don't. It was Chekhov's line, and now that we've seen it crossed, we know what happens. Why?
There you go.
Totally.
I mean, that's a huge part of your background.
It didn't tell you why because whoever knew the why was ages ago dead. Nobody left the notes.
Yep.
So the warning page has been ripped out to
Right.
quote Doctor Strange. Cool.
Love
What's
it.
next?
And then I traumaed out. Do I mark 2 stress for trauma or 1 stress? Well,
So you get 1 stress for gaining a trauma. Which trauma did you pick?
Haunted.
So I don't know that it came up in play, but I believe it's trauma or vices. I don't think your vices bit you in the butt here.
No. All right, so I'll mark 1 XP for that.
Mhm.
Yep.
Cool. That's it for me.
Lauren, you should go next.
Heck yeah. Definitely address challenges with force and threats by
Including threatening a giant space worm. Or wee worm.
And then expressed beliefs, drives, heritage, background. I kind of feel like I took a lot of cues from Scion this game, which I feel like is a reflection of our blossoming relationship, for better or for worse.
I also feel like you kind of showed how Dipper is just like very curious about organic life and the world. And so when our Memish friend was like, I will show you how to use the way, you're like, yeah, I want to meditate on that. And we answered a question that we did not establish before, which was, can Urbots attune to the way? Like, is that an organic thing or and clearly it is not. It is a thing. It's a sentient thing, right? Or something else.
We don't know, but I can tell you that maybe not all Urbots can attune to the way.
Yeah. So I think that was some cool stuff about your beliefs and background.
We also saw a brief scene between you and Raquel.
Yes.
Yeah.
I feel like that was really good foreshadowing for I can get you a new body, and it's like, oh, I'm crystallizing. I might need that. So I'm excited to follow down that.
Well, and importantly, not a new body, like a distinction between a body versus a frame, right?
Yes,
like a distinction there about what that meant. So
I love all of that. And then I traumaed, so I will take an XP for drawing.
Yep.
Which trauma did you take?
Reckless, which I think is neat because I feel like Scion's bumped up over from sort of being a bit more reckless and carefree to like being haunted and cautious, and then like Dipper is following behind with like being reckless and maybe less cautious.
It's like a seesaw. When Scion becomes less reckless, Dipper's got to become more to fill the void.
Oh yeah, I'm here for this relationship for sure.
Awesome. Jen, you're next. Let's do some XPs.
Sure. I definitely address a tough challenge with audacity.
Yeah, 2 XP, no question.
No doubt.
Less charm. I expressed my background, right? I pirated the shit out of that thing.
So much. We know. Yeah.
Yep. And then I traumaed. So
I would actually suggest that you get 2 XP for that. Because you may not be aware of this, but there may be some fingers of Kai involved with half of the shit show that just happened.
I'm not even a little surprised by that.
Okay.
Yep, that works.
Nice.
So yeah, so I filled up my advancement track, and then I have another one on top of that.
Sweet.
Whisper.
All right.
AKA Sean.
Whisper up. Okay. Did I address a challenge with deception or influence? I definitely addressed the first encounter with our. I definitely addressed the first encounter to make friends with influence. We played friendly friend. After that, I don't know. I don't know if there's another. I think I maintained the ruse with Samara that like I knew we were we're playing cool, but I don't know if there was a role behind that second time. I think I spent like a stress to assist. I feel like it's just one, unless someone else can think of one that I'm forgetting. Nope. All right. Express my beliefs towards heritage. I think I figured out a belief about my character, which is I can't stand mystics. I think that they're fucking shady, pompous. Oh, I know so much better than you. And I'm taking the trauma paranoid, by the way, and that I don't trust mystics.
Cool.
At all. And so yes, I'm taking one for my belief. I think I'm gonna take another one for my belief about like trying to solve, like using our relationships and our friendship as leverage, walking into this, trying not to gun them down. That's why we had a social
I was also very interested in the fact that you ran your unprotected body into the blazing room to carry this mystic you don't like out of the fire.
Yeah, I sure did. That is true.
He's part of my crew. Why are we talking about this?
Yeah. I don't trust you. It doesn't mean you're not part of my crew. I don't think so. And I struggle with issues for my advice trauma. I'm going to take 1 for getting that trauma. I don't think my obligation came up, so just take 1 there. So I'm the same boat. Got 1 and rolled it over.
Cool. Let's do crew real fast.
Yep. Persephone. All right.
I believe you completed an extraction.
Yeah, we did. Yeah. I was gonna say, did we do 2? Because we got a clone of, but we don't have control of them. So
yeah, that's gonna be an interesting. I think so. Traditionally, one of the advice in Scum and Villainy is like, if you're gonna get paid, you're just gonna get paid, right?
Yeah.
But I think this is one of those times when we actually role play the handoff, because I don't think it's gonna be quite as simple as
I don't think
as all that.
Yeah, totally.
Cool. So contend with challenges above your current station, 2 XP, Raiders and this other crew.
Yep.
Victor Backs being the tier that I set them at.
Yeah.
Bolster your crew's reputation or develop a new one. What are your reps? Unpredictable and hard. I think
I feel like this was unpredictable. I think we came in there with a strange approach, and I also think when they thought we were left for dead, we're like, nope, not dead. We're still kicking.
Yeah. So I feel like that's 2 XP there.
Yeah.
And then last but not least, express the goals, drives, inner conflict, or essential nature of the crew.
I think we saw a lot of crew loyalty in this session. A lot of loyalty.
That's definitely true.
Because
everybody got questioned, right? Like Samara was under fire this time, and there was a lot of like, do you trust me even if I only send you 1 line? You know, like everybody was trying to back everybody's play, including Whisper running into a burning fire. Oh, very stock moment.
I mean, I even thought that like the setup into the mission was all like very like, okay, we're all in this, we're all playing a part. Like Samara is going over to the other ship, Sean is running comms, like really cool interplay of like teamwork.
Yeah, and I think that there's like this there's this underlying thread of like why we stick together that is like, I think we're teasing it out slowly. There's not like a single answer. It's not like we were all in the war together and that hardened us. Like I think that there's an element of us being each other's found family, and whether or not we actually like one another is not the same as whether or not we'll have one another's back. And I like that there is that tension of like, we might not agree, we might not like one another, but there's something about being on board the Persephone that makes it your home, even if there's no crew quarters, even if there's no showers. So
I'm so sorry, but Jen, you actually using the shower was probably my favorite moment.
Yeah.
Very good.
I think it definitely showcases the difference between the 2 ships, right? Like it's like an airplane with 300 passengers, and then like the airplane with a chef that'll make stuff for you, and like, you know, like an area for like walking and talking and stuff.
We're definitely economy versus first class.
Yeah. Beyond first class even.
Yeah.
Private jet. All right, cool. So I think with that, that's the end of this episode. Shall we do outros?
Yeah, sounds good.
Sean?
Yeah, I'm Sean Nittner. I use he, him pronouns. You can find me everywhere at Sean Nittner. Right outside of my reach, if I just had way powers and I could summon them, I would pull the Fate Space Toolkit, which I just got a physical copy of. But I can't, it's too far. But that we just got our initial comp copies, and they'll be coming out in April. So I'm excited about that. I'm also excited that my game, Agon, is just gone to print, and it's going to be printing through May. So probably come out in late June or July, early July. Super excited about that. Also trying to stay alive in this hellscape world that we live in, and you know, feeling really much more human and good for getting to play with all of you wonderful people. So thank you all for playing with me. How about you, Lauren?
Heck yeah. I've been Lauren. I use she, their pronouns. I'm at the Stray Kiwi on Twitter and thestraykiwi.com if you want to learn more about my design and editing stuff that I do. And hard agree, like this game was fantastic and very good to reconnect with all you folks after a 2-week break, especially given everything that's going on. I hope everyone's staying safe and well. Aside from that, yeah, you can feel free to check me out. We're running a game that I co-authored with Jesse Roscoe, Girl Underground, in 2 weeks on this channel. If you would like to follow along with some Alice in Wonderland adventures with some with a boar called Thunderbolt, who is very into lore, and Beamer, the best thief in all of the land. Take it away, Steven.
Yo, yeah, same, echoing everything everybody said about like how important role playing has been for like the social part of the social isolation. So thank you for excellent role players. There's like a point in the middle of the show where I was like, man, these people are really good at role playing games. Just like all of you are making really interesting calls and like complicating situations in cool ways, like really fun times. Hi, everybody. I'm Steven. I use he, him pronouns. You can find me all over the internet at Silent Osiris. The O is a 0. Finger guns are very important for that. And I look forward to seeing y'all in 2 weeks. Jen, how about you?
Hi, I'm Jen Martin. I use she, her pronouns. You can find me on Twitter at 10penjen. I'm about to hop onto Animal Crossing for another 2 weeks straight. So I guess I will see you guys next time. Josh, what about you?
Hey, I'm Strash. I'm one of the regular streamers here. I use he, him pronouns, and you can find me at Strash A on the Twitters. I'm also the designer of this game, and hopefully we'll see you back in a couple of weeks to figure out how this goes on, because woo, what an episode. I think that fun thing we're doing Thursday night. Sean and I actually don't know where you are on the Twitch screen, but Sean and yeah, it's all good. Sean and Lauren are totally going to be playing a game with me Thursday night. We're going to be doing some Project Perseus on this stream. For those of you that don't know, that is a game of super spies versus the supernatural in like the 80s and 90s. So it's going to have a lot of vibes of things like Atomic Blonde, but with like vampires or, you know, other supernatural cults that summon demons, that kind of thing. So if you want to see some cool super spy action adventure, I actually get to be playing for once. So I'm going to be playing in that game, and my friend Judd is going to be actually running it. So it should be exciting. You should look forward to it. And Steven, I just want to say that whenever you do finger guns, I love the fact that you're doing the close up to the chest John Wick style finger guns. So that's amazing, and I love it. And that's it for me.
All right, we'll see you all in a couple weeks.